This article is from People. It says Eminem's music publisher, 8 Mile Style, is suing Meta for $109 million. I will say that number one more again. $109 million over copyright infringement claims. It says the company that controls Eminem's early catalog, 8 Mile Style, also requested a jury trial. What do we need to know? It says 8 Mile Style, the publishing company that controls Eminem's early songs, is suing Meta for over $109 million in damages in a copyright infringement lawsuit. The company alleges that Mark Zuckerberg's technology company violated the copyright of 243 songs from Eminem's catalog. In a statement obtained by People, a Meta spokesperson said, quote, Meta had been negotiating in good faith with 8 Mile Style, but rather than continue those discussions, 8 Mile Style chose to sue. Now, let me try to find for y'all what it says about the infringement. I already know, but I wanted to see how they word it. Ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. 8 Mile Style claims Meta violated the copyright infringement through, quote, unauthorized storage, reproduction, and exploitation of the 243 songs on the various platforms that Meta owns. For those who don't know, Meta owns Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. The claims cite the various applications different. Yeah, no, okay, I read it right. The claims cite the various applications, different features, including original audio and Reels Remix, as a means to, quote, allow and encourage its users to steal 8 Mile Style's music to use in their content without proper attribution or license. The suit also claims that songs have been used in millions of videos and streamed billions of times. In a statement obtained by People, a Meta spokesperson said, Meta has licenses with thousands of partners around the world and an extensive global licensing program for music on its platforms. Meta had been negotiating in good faith with 8 Mile. Oh, we said that part already. So they took part of the quote, put it over there, whatever. 8 Mile Style also claims there is a, quote, diminished value of the copyright by defendants' theft of them, lost profits, and defendants' profits attribution to the infringement. The company is seeking monetary damages and asked for the maximum statutory damages. The Grammy winners company requested $150,000 for each of the 243 songs being on Meta's Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook, reaching a total of $109,350,000 in damages. They have also requested a jury trial, not a jury style. I don't know what a jury style is. Maybe some made up shit I just said. All right, let's see what you got here. There was another comment. No, there was not. All right, so that is the deal. That is what Eminem's company is suing Meta for. I think this is a really interesting legal situation. I think this is a really interesting lawsuit for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm gonna say it. I hope I don't get in trouble. But white on white crime, man. You got a lot of people's favorite Eminem and a lot of people's favorite Zuck, as he called himself a while ago when Threads was launching. Zuck and Slim. Eminem and Mark. I think that alone makes it interesting. Now, when you dig a little deeper and we start talking about copyright infringement, I think that makes it even more interesting, right? Because we're talking about Eminem's company is saying that they did not get proper permissions. One, two, they encouraged users, as you heard me read, to use this in, quote, original audio. Now, I, as a creator, have always been curious about this original audio thing, because you can take other people's music and put it in as original audio. And they do have AI systems and people who are supposed to comb through these many, many pieces of content and find when something is not original audio and it does belong to someone, whether it's a piece of the song, the whole song, whatever. This is not the first lawsuit of this kind, but it is the first lawsuit of this magnitude that I know of, because that is a lot of money. I haven't seen anything for this much money. Now, the fact that they're saying that not only was this used, it was encouraged, I think is where they're going to have some problems. Because how are you going to prove that that Meta encouraged people to do it? What proof do they have? They're going to have to come up with some kind of proof that shows Meta encouraging people to do it. That shows people saying like, use this song, use this sound, or something of that nature. I don't know if they're just going to be able to prove that so easily. I think you're going to have a hard time proving that part in court. Yes, it's true that Meta has licenses with lots of companies, lots of artists, and lots of probably publishing companies, which is what kind of company this is. Because it's not Eminem directly, even though that's what the headline says. It's company versus company, right? So let me slow down a little bit. I think that's where it gets a little interesting as well, because yeah, they do have deals with lots of artists, companies, etc. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean you stop letting people use it during the negotiations, because they're saying we were negotiating in good faith. That's fine. Negotiations happen, and negotiations should happen if you're trying to reach a deal. But what is happening with that music, those quote unquote sounds in the meantime? Because if you're still letting people run it up, as they say, that could be problematic, because you can't just let people run it up while we're in negotiations. And also, let's be real, we're talking about Eminem, Slim Shady, Marshall Mathers, one of the biggest artists of the last 20 years. Whether you like him, you love him, you hate him, doesn't matter. Actually, 20 plus years, because his first album came out in 99. So Eminem is a huge artist still today, whether you love him, hate him, don't like him, don't know who he is. I don't know how you wouldn't know who he is, but he's a huge act. And so that catalog comes with a lot of weight. It's possible that they were trying to lowball Slim Shady, that they were saying, yeah, well, this is how much we'll pay you, and that's it. And so, being that he is someone who's so strong in the game and has so much cachet, it is possible that they were like, nah, man, these negotiations are not going well. You're still letting people use it. You're quote unquote encouraging people to use it. We're taking it to court. And I think they are very confident if you're requesting a jury trial. That is a signal, the bat signal, that you mean business. That's you saying, hey man, I'm so confident in this that I think juries will agree with us and penalize y'all. I think that is also a bold statement on uh 8 Mile Styles' behalf. I was trying to remember that name. I think it's a weird name. Um so that I think they're very confident in that. I don't know if it's overconfident, but I think that's them putting out a clear signal that, hey man, we mean business. Let's head to the chat. Dave says money fight. Absolutely. Dave says, I think that's probably why they want the jury, because Eminem is very popular. Yeah, I think it is about popularity, but also about skin in the game, right? Because clearly they feel they can convince a jury to get this maximum payment. Dash says this sounds like one of these things where the company doesn't do much to prevent it until they get hit with a whammy like this. Even if they have rules on this, it's probably very lenient because it's probably not costing them much. Right, exactly. I agree. I agree that with that. And well said. I think it is one of those things where it's lenient, because I have put up sounds that I know are other people's sounds, and immediately it says, oh, this is even if it's just a slice, it'll say this is a piece of Dashing D's single BBL Dashing. You'd be like, oh, okay, good job, they did their job there. And other times you put something up and it just says JD's original audio, Cherry Eggplant's original audio. Sometimes even if it's a repost, it will do that, but everything is not original audio. And so they may need to do a better job of this original audio thing. I'm gonna put quote unquote original audio, air quotes, because a lot of stuff is not original audio, especially like I've seen reposts even that just say original audio. And I'm like, how can it be original audio if I'm clearly reposting someone else's post? You see the post, I'm saying repost. Sometimes people have the repost app. There's a couple of ones you can use that you'll see in the little corner. It says like repost, or it has the little symbol of the repost, like the little loop logo. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. And it'll say original audio. And so, yeah, they got to do a better job. And maybe this will help with that. And if that helps artists get paid, I'm all for that. Unfortunately, the real problem is there are not enough M&Ms in the world. And once again, I don't mean the sweet, delicious chocolate coated candy. I mean Slim Shady, Marshall Mathers, right? There's not enough of those in the world. So someone who's a small fry like myself, we can't sue Meta. My songs are not doing what Eminem songs are doing. But my point is, independent artists, artists with really bad deals on major labels, these people are not just gonna be able to sue Meta. And if you are a small act with a distribution deal or something like that, if you go to your label and say that, hey, Meta is doing these things and I have proof, that's cool, but they may not give a fuck enough to fight for you. Because remember, your label got to be able to fight on your behalf, or your publishing company or whoever. Some of these companies have mad artists that are signed, whether it's a pub deal or a record label deal, and they may not, they just don't care enough to go out there and fight on your behalf. And so that's where it gets tricky. The small fish loses in these instances. And so that's where it gets a little tricky. Listen, water bottle. Sorry. Um, that's where it gets tricky because big fish eat small fish. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. But that's where it's really unfortunate. I wish there were more M&Ms in this instance because these companies are using and abusing their power when it comes to the way they use our original content to help others create original content. It's a really weird time right now with copyrights, with music, with ownership. All of those things are kind of in this gray, weird area today. Um, so I think this could change things for the better. I think Dash had a good point about the leniency. Perhaps this will make those systems improve because the reality is they do need to improve.